at some other impressive numbers.
We'll look at these numbers instead. Now, both these men at 157 pounds, as we said, they're fighting over the 154-pound limit, but their future is at 154 pounds. A slight height and reach advantage for Salazar. He's going to need it because he needs to box in this fight.
This fight will be contested utilizing the unified rules. Here is Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the State Farm Arena here in Atlanta, Georgia, Premier Boxing Champions continues the action, this time in the super welterweight division. Introducing our three judges, scoring from ringside. From Georgia, Nola Oliver. Also from Georgia, Richard Sells. And from Oklahoma, David Sutherland. Introducing our referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Jim Korb. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled, super welterweights in the ring. Introducing to you first, on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with green and red trim, hailing from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. He weighed in at 157 pounds with a record of 23 wins, 3 losses. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight seeking his 16th consecutive win, introducing Alexis Salazar. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with gold trim, hailing from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 157 pounds, with a record of 19 wins, 1 loss. He has 15 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the world-ranked super welterweight known as Caballo Bronco, Carlos Adames. Once again, a referee in charge, Jim Korb, now to give instructions.
Thank you. Center ring. Gentlemen, you know the pre-fight instructions. Protect yourselves at all times. Fight out of the clinches. There'll be no holding, you understand? All right, let's have a clean, good, clean fight. Back out, back to your corners.
Jim Korb is the referee with 38 years of pro experience, officiating his 424th professional bout, scheduled for 10 at a contract weight of 157 pounds.
Place. You ready, Red?
The bell goes to begin round 1. Adames in the black with gold trim trunks. Salazar in the white with green and red trim. Adames told us his experience and confidence will be the difference, while Salazar, really, he can't believe his luck, guys. He was overcome with emotion when he found out he'd be given this opportunity, and he wants to make the most of it, despite being unheralded coming into this, the biggest opportunity of his career.
And boxing fans will, I'm sure, noted that Freddie Roach, the great trainer from the Wildcard Gym, is there with him. He's his trainer for this fight. And Salazar said, this is the most important fight of my career, and it is. He's an underdog in this fight. He needs to prove himself, and this fight he's going to have to perform as well as he can.
And he's off to a nice start there with a triple jab, followed by the right hand over the top. He worked for 3 years as part of Team Canelo, sparring with Canelo Alvarez. As a minute has elapsed here in the opening round, and Salazar goes to the body with the shotgun jab.
Now Salazar is aware that Adames is a fast starter. He's a pressure fighter. So what do you do with the pressure fighter? You jab him. You know, you keep him at bay. You keep him at distance. You use the whole ring. And that's exactly what Salazar is doing at the moment.
Yeah, Adames telling us that he has a very aggressive style. Always ready to go to battle. Always looking for a fight and a knockout. 15 of his 19 wins have come inside the distance as he comes forward with a 1-2 that backs up Salazar.
At his there's the hook from
Adames, and another left hook to the body. That bothered Salazar.
At his best, he is a terrific offensive fighter. He's got a good jab. He's a good body puncher. He's got a great uppercut, good hook. He's got the goods offensively. His issue is, can he get himself in exactly the right, proper condition and be ready to go in fights?
100%. He fades towards the end, and I think that's what happened in his first defeat against Patrick Teixeira. I think he faded towards the end.
He has fought
when Adames was doing great. Sorry.
No, sorry, Abner. He's fought at the higher level, and so far does look to have some compact punching power as he begins to accrue the data from Salazar. They're both doing it right now, trying to figure each other out and trying to find a way to make contact.
This is the first fight for Adames with Ismael Salas. He trained with Robert Garcia, and he's with Salas in his gym in Las Vegas.
And it's not so much trying to figure each other out in this round. I think Salazar is just, he wants to fight in the outside. He definitely does not want to be in the inside against Adames.
And Adames has the tendency to start methodically. We are seeing it here as we come to the end of round one.
Time.
A look at what these men need to do. Don't forget the jab. Sometimes he does, and he's got an excellent jab. I mentioned the uppercut that Adames has. When he gets on the inside, he wasn't there in round one, he could throw that punch. He did throw a couple of very good right hands. He has used that punch to score knockouts and knockdowns. For Salazar, has to stay off the ropes. If he gets there, he will get eaten up by Adames. And sometimes he doesn't punch enough. He's going to have to let his hands go and be very busy in this fight. His best power punch is an overhand right. He hopes to get it home and have it make a difference.
Round two, scheduled for 10 at a contract weight of 157 pounds. Carlos Adames, he has fought very tough competition. 6 most recent opponents had a combined record of 117-11-4. While Salazar, he's been sparring with the likes of Gabriel Rosado. Yeah, the same Rosado who authored the upset and knockout of the year candidate against the previously unbeaten Bektemir Melikuziev last Saturday.
And that was remarkable.
Incredible. And Salazar lands the jab, but backs up as and Abner, in talking to others about this fight, you know, Adames does give you an opportunity. He tends to survey, tries to collect data. That's when Salazar should probably strike.
Yeah, I mean, Salazar obviously taking his time trying to figure out Adames, but Adames just looking for a great opportunity to corner Salazar and take him to the ropes with the body punches and power shots.
All right, the whole one, your arms are tied up. All right, break, clean break. All right, let's keep it clean, guys.
Referee Korb imploring them to keep it clean. Doesn't want to see the rough house tactics, the Greco-Roman wrestling.
Adames will switch to lefty occasionally. We haven't seen that yet in this fight, but he does like to do that.
Yeah, he's actually very comfortable. He says he's naturally ambidextrous. He does everything with both hands. As Salazar content to try to establish the left hand, the jab, misses with that sweeping left hook as he continues to circle. There's a 1-2 that landed.
Adames is giving Salazar a chance to get into this fight. Yes. You know, let's be honest, Adames is kind of, presumably, and obviously, hopefully he doesn't get hurt from that, he's kind of on another level. He's been in against better competition. He was, you know, he barely lost to a guy that had the world championship. But the longer you give Salazar a chance to kind of believe he belongs in this fight, the better it is for Salazar.
You're so right about that. And I think, yeah, Adames, it feels comfortable in this fight. He feels that whenever he gets a chance or the opportunity, he can knock out a Salazar, but you can't give him too much time.
Yeah, Salazar said he can't stay in front of him for too long as he's trying to escape. He wants to prove how ready he is to reach new heights. Salazar wants to inspire people that no matter where you are from, it's possible to reach your dreams. Here he is on Showtime pay-per-view against Carlos Adames with 15 seconds left in the second.
10 seconds, guys.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Mo, thank you very much. Here with Tank Davis. Tank, you move up to 140 tonight. What do you weigh as you go into the ring?
I'm probably a little over 140. Probably like 144, 46.
You comfortable with this, and do you feel as though you can carry the power?
I'm not really for sure till I get in there, but I'm definitely comfortable because it's like regular gym work, you know, regular stuff that I come in the gym at, so we'll see.
What do you feel you have to do early in this fight to establish yourself? He's a much bigger man, 6 inches taller.
Just go out there and be me, you know, just go out there and do what I do best, and that's get the job done.
And to be a 3-division champion, you study the history of this. What would it mean to join Mayweather and Oscar and Manny and a lot of those great folks, Chavez?
It meant a lot, you know, doing that at 26 years old. So it's great. You know, I'm definitely thankful to be in this position to be able to do so. So I'm all for it.
Tank, best of luck. We'll talk to you after the fight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Morrow, back out to you.
Thank you very much, Jim. A battle of undefeated power punches coming your way in the main event. Right now you are watching Carlos Adames against Alexis Salazar. And Salazar told us how important establishing the jab would be, the movement. He's trying to chew up real estate, but he's got to find a way to continue to score.
And we talked about sparring. Adames sparred with Terrence Crawford a lot in 2017, and there we see the switching for the first time by Adames.
Yeah, that's what drew attention from major promoters, was when he was sparring with another former undisputed champ at 140 pounds in Terrence Crawford, now 147, as we come up on the opening minute of the third. And Salazar's a lot of movement, trying to establish the jab, but it's now Adames trying to crouch him and put together a combination, but not a lot of offensive output from either fighter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Almost hard to keep Adames, you know, back from Alexis. Yeah, you can do it with the jab, but you know, if you don't carry the power, which Alexis doesn't, you know, it's Adames just moving forward.
Yeah, the interesting thing, though, is Adames is not landing too many punches in this fight. And so, you know, Salazar could be stealing a couple of these early rounds.
Well, they both are attributed with 15 landed punches total, while Salazar has thrown 25 more punches, according to show stats.
All right, break, clean break, break it out.
And I think that could be key for Salazar. Make it difficult for Adames using the whole ring.
Well, he's trying to get on his bike, but now being mugged by Adames, unloading the left, and the crowd here at State Farm Arena in Atlanta exploding as referee Korb.
A little bit of holding from Adames.
I'm disqualifying you, Ed. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not going to put up with this shit, buddy. Box!
Well, referee Jim Korb has made his point clear. As, it was Adames literally mugging Salazar.
You know, the question, I guess, is going to be whether Salazar is turning his back to Adames. It's happened 3 or 4 times in this fight. So, did Adames initiate that, or was it because Salazar turned his back on him?
Keep it clean.
I think it was both. Adames turning and Salazar trying to get away from that punch.
Oh, what a shot! The lead left hand dropping Salazar. He cannot. 6, 7. Mamma mia! The one-hitter quitter from Carlos Adames. The straight left hand vanquishing Salazar, who went down for the first time as a professional. My goodness, what a punch!
A monstrous left hook from Adames. He has power, we know that. Those 15 knockouts, and now adding another one.
20-1 with his sweet 16th KO on by far the biggest stage of his career.
It's the punches you don't see that hurt the most, and that was a quick left hook right on the chin.
Adames, a 154-pounder that many people believe is ready to be a contender. He's ranked 13th by one of the organizations, and it's such a rich division with talent that he's an example of it to a great degree. And he had some trouble with Salazar early, but ultimately was able to unload.
I'm always looking for a fight and a knockout. Prophetic words from Carlos Adames.
Tough night for Salazar. You know, he was hoping that he could get the job done here tonight by being awkward, by being slick. He was doing that in this fight, but then ran into the big left hand.
And his 15-fight win streak evaporates with one punch.
You're right about the awkwardness that Salazar brought into the fight. You know, at times we thought that Adames was just taking his time, but really he couldn't get in.
Well, the round started in an odd way because we had Salazar with kind of, you see his back gets turned, and Adames trying to hit him, and Salazar kind of with his back turned. The referee not thrilled. A straight left hand got in there. Now that was not called a knockdown, though it actually could have been. And Salazar decided to battle and brawl in that spot with Adames, which probably wasn't a great decision. But then here is where the referee took umbrage at what Adames was doing and tried to get in there and gave him a stern warning. I'm not even sure if he took points away or didn't. It was hard to tell in that instance. And then it all became academic because Adames landed this left hook. I mean, that was just a lead left hook that took all the air, Abner, out of Salazar, and it was just a big, powerful punch.
It's definitely a big, powerful punch. You know, a punch that you don't see. Again, right in the chin, took him right out, could not recover.
And Salazar clearly was not going to be able to continue.
Referee almost wanted to give him a chance, but yeah, he looked at him, but he showed signs that he wanted to continue. And it's almost like he feinted to the body, and he caught him right in the chin. I think Salazar was waiting for a body shot, and he got it right in the chin. He got back up, but his legs were not in.
The fact that he tried to plead his case with the referee shows the heart of a Mexican warrior. Here it is again.
And yet another look shows you that he dipped down, got great leverage on that punch, and just was able to deliver it over the lazy right hand that was low of Salazar. Adames is a good power puncher at 154 pounds. Against top competition, he has shown his power, and he's a fighter that's ready to face good 154-pounders.
Adames' dad sired 35 kids. He passed away in 2016, but I know he is looking down and proud of the fighter and the puncher his son Carlos Adames has become. Make it 20 wins, 16 knockouts for the native of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Let's make it official with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes 59 seconds in round number 3. Our referee in charge, Jim Korb, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. Caballo Bronco, Carlos Adames.
The numbers, though, they're not big because it was a short fight. The power punching by Adames, everything other than jab, landing 41%, but one was the important number, and that was that big left hook.
Third round TKO for Carlos Adames, who's going to speak with Jim Gray.
All right, Mauro, thank you very much. Felix De Jesus will translate for us. Carlos, congratulations on the victory. Tell us what happened at the beginning of the round. It was kind of a bizarre start to the round where he turned his back and you kept fighting.
Felicitaciones, Carlos, en la victoria. ¿Qué pasó al comienzo del round que como él se viró y tú seguiste peleando ahí?
Buenas noches para todos. Primeramente quiero darle gracias a todo ese público hermoso, que maravilloso que vino a vernos hoy. Estoy muy contento, me siento muy feliz. Primeramente la pelea yo sabía que iba a tener totalmente el control porque a medida que vayan pasando los rounds yo sabía que me iba a ir acoplando al ritmo de él y por eso surgían los giros que yo sentía que ese era mi fundamento para ganarle fácil.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming here in Atlanta today. Thank you for being here. And I was in control all the time of the fight, and that's what produced him turning around sometimes until I needed the rhythm to fight him.
All right, let's take a look at the end of the fight with that big hook and ask him to describe what happened to end this fight.
Describe cómo se terminó la pelea aquí cuando le tiraste el gancho.
Yo ya lo iba trabajando con mi jab abajo, si se pueden dar. Desde el principio round le estaba tirando solamente un jab abajo, para que se confiara pensando que le iba a seguir tirando el jab abajo y luego usé mi gancho, que yo sabía que iba a entrar recto mi gancho.
Yeah, I was working him with the jab first to the body, so he can think that I was still working with the jab, and then I came with the mortal left hook.
All right, congratulations. Best of luck.
Felicitaciones y buena suerte.
Gracias a ustedes, gracias a todo este público maravilloso que vino a vernos. Buenas noches para todos.
Good night for everybody, and thanks for coming out.